The only hero who can save the world, resolutely chooses to join the demon army after crossing over. All because of one mistake by the goddess. The hero who should have crossed over to the beginner village accidentally arrives at the Demon King's headquarters. Even worse, the strongest fighter stands right before him, yet he's completely unaware, because the goddess told him his first stop would be the beginner village, where the monsters would all be weaklings. So the hero attacks the demon without hesitation. Die, you low-level tutorial monster! But the result is unsurprising. He's defeated. So the hero is thrown into prison. Unwilling to give up, he shouts that he wants to fight the Minotaur again. However, his loud commotion attracts the headquarters. Second in command, Gobzo. Gobzo lightly places his greatsword on the ground, and the tremendous sound nearly scares the hero to death. That's actually a real sword? Okay, I'll be quiet. Gobzo turns and walks away. Human, if you make noise again, I'll stew you. After he leaves, Il sits on the ground completely confused, because the goddess once told him that lie world would be an easy and pleasant adventure with no danger at all, and he'd even have the village chief's 18 daughters for company. Little does he know, all of this was the goddess lying to meet her performance quota by sending them to another world. Just as Il can't figure out what's going on, a voice suddenly comes from the adjacent cell. Are you the new hero? So Il quickly responds and asks about the other person's identity. I'm also a hero. We're now in the slave dungeon of the Demon King's castle. Il is stunned, but what comes next is even more shocking. The hero in the next cell grins wickedly, then shouts in a booming voice, "You guys who claim to be heroes, are you all still alive?" As his words fall, the entire dungeon instantly erupts. I'm an S-rank hero. I'm still alive. Me too. The hero smirks proudly. As you can see, there are over 100 heroes in this dungeon. The boss here is the Minotaur Laudrin, and the second in command is Gobzo. They're both notoriously vicious. And, the hero's voice suddenly chokes up, our current predicament is all thanks to that demon Rachel. Il is shocked. Rachel? Isn't that the goddess's name? Through the hero's explanation, he learns. A hero's first stop should normally be in the city, but due to Rachel's negligence, they were teleported to the wrong place. But since beginner heroes have no real abilities, they're completely unable to resist. This is a hellish start. The next day, he truly tastes what hell is like. Not only does he have to work for the Demon King for free, but even worse, after a day's work ends, Gobzo uses Il as a mount. Let's go back, slaves. You short, fat little goblin. One day I'll slaughter you. After returning to the slave dungeon, Il is completely exhausted. But after resting for a moment, he suddenly remembers the goddess seemed to say that heroes have a status window privilege, so he quickly summons it. Looking it over, his stats seem higher than normal people, but considering he was previously the universe boxing champion, this doesn't seem abnormal. Endurance 31, but this statement immediately startles the hero next door. Amazing. You have 31 endurance at just level 1, but I'm still a slave. Il doesn't care, but the hero still thinks he's different. You'll definitely be able to escape this place and become a true hero. But faced with this encouragement, Il just wants to give up. When Deep Night arrives, he secretly gets up, planning to check the status window again to see if he's missed anything. After looking for a while, he actually discovers something. What are these hero points? He asked the hero earlier during the day, who said they didn't have this thing. Am I the only true hero? Just as Il lowers his head in thought, a sudden flash of light interrupts him. Long time no see, Mr. Hero. The visitor is none other than the goddess Rachel. Let this goddess tell you what hero points do. They're the key to creating the ultimate hero. But faced with this goddess kindly answering his questions, Il immediately becomes furious. I don't care about hero points or anything like that, but first I'm going to beat you up. A moment later, the goddess is beaten and begs for mercy. I'm sorry. I didn't know that just a little coffee spilled on the magic circle would cause your teleportation to go wrong. The higher gods discovered this, so they punished the goddess by making her Il's personal goddess until he defeats the Demon King. You're a triple S rank hero, so completing this task won't be difficult, but Il is completely uninterested. Rather than defeating the Demon King or whatever, he'd rather stay here and live an ordinary life, because in his previous life, as the universe boxing champion, he fought his entire life and still died single. I'm tired of a life of fighting and killing. The goddess is instantly stunned because as long as the mission isn't completed, she can never return to her original world, just as she wants to continue persuading him. A sound suddenly comes from outside the door, startling Il into quickly grabbing the goddess and signaling her to be quiet. Don't worry about me, I can use invisibility magic. After hearing this, Il releases the goddess and looks up toward the door. The visitor is the second in command Gobzo. Mr. Laudrin wants to see you. After saying this, he brings Il to the office. The reason is because Gobzo said he got a new mount, Il, and that Il works very hard, which sparked Laudrin's curiosity. That short, fat little monster praised me like this? One day I'll slaughter you. Your hard work is good, so I want to appoint you as chief slave. Hearing this, the goddess is instantly stunned. This guy is actually competing with me for him. You'll refuse him, right? Quickly reject him firmly. A human hero must never bow down to the demon army. Of course. Il grins wickedly, then kneels on the ground and kowtows loudly. Thank you, sir. I won't disappoint your expectations. Very good, I'm starting to like you. Laudrin nods with satisfaction. 3 days later, Il officially starts his new position. Run faster! Run faster! My grandma runs faster than you. No leaving until you finish. He's very satisfied with his his current position. Ha 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 ha, being slave supervisor is awesome. This scene stuns the people below. Has this guy lost his mind? I heard he used to be a human hero, can you believe it? Ill's behavior is too much even for the goddess Rachel watching nearby. Are you crazy? If this continues, we'll be in big trouble. But Ill ignores her after hearing this. You little sparrow have no idea about my plan. You, what are you doing on the ground? Are you trying to be a turtle? Get up and work now. After squeezing the slaves, he doesn't forget to salute toward Lodrin's office. Thank you, sir. I'll work hard. This scene completely infuriates the goddess, and she starts constantly repeating what a hero should do beside him, until Ill's ears are about to develop calluses. So he quickly opens the hero panel. Due to an idiot's mistake, you were teleported to the Demon King's dungeon. Current mission, gain the favor of Demon Army Officer Lodrin. I'm just following the hero's mission, understand? But the goddess refuses to believe it no matter what, and even after returning to the slave dungeon, she still thinks he's lying to her. Ill can't take it anymore and grabs the goddess. Who do you think is the idiot responsible for me being locked up here? After being warned, the goddess quiets down considerably, and even stops nagging during work. Is that really his mission? Only higher-ups have the authority to change mission content, so why would they do this? While the goddess is thinking, Gobzo arrives on the scene. Mr. Lodrin wants to see you. After receiving the order, Ill happily comes to the office, and after 2 days of work, Ill's efforts finally earn the commander's approval. Well done, young man. Seeing the other's blushing face, Ill can't help but gasp, so he quickly takes advantage before Lodrin does anything strange, and immediately salutes, Sir, can you let me train the slaves? I'm determined to build you an elite work team where one person can do the work of 3. That way, the Demon King's castle will be built within a week. At first, Lodrin doesn't agree because human bodies are too weak to train and work simultaneously. But considering the person proposing this plan is him, Lodrin happily agrees. Thank you, sir. Having gained approval, Ill quickly runs back to the slave dungeon. But just as he arrives, the goddess Rachel immediately bursts into tears. My hero must have gone mad. Not only does he bow down to the demon army, but he's even helping them oppress his own people. How can I live with this? The crying and commotion quickly irritates Ill, and he can only helplessly reveal his plan. Listen, I have no intention of being an enemy to humans. I'm just planning to use the slaves to start a rebellion. Ill has calculated that this castle has a full 3,000 slaves, while the demon soldiers number only 500. And not far from here is a human base, which will be a good place to go after escaping. Ill speaks so logically that even the goddess who never believed in him shows admiration. It seems my Mr. Hero isn't just a muscle-headed fool. Because he completed the mission to gain Lodrin's favor, Ill receives 100 hero points. Let me see what treasures the hero shop has. Saying this, he impatiently opens the shop, but the things inside instantly shock him. F-rank skill, hold breath, skill description, allows the hero to hold their breath. He thought this skill was absurd enough, but as he continues scrolling, he realizes he was too conservative. F-rank item, dog feces. Item description, please take it. Seeing this, the goddess can't help but laugh. Don't be discouraged, this is just a level 1 shop. If you can upgrade it to level 2, you'll get better things, like larger portions of feces. Stop right there. This is what you said would make me the ultimate hero? Ill officially begins training the slaves. The next day, first, let's recite our 3rd Legion motto. Begin. We are the great demon army. Let us defeat the humans. Sing our praises. Lodrin in the tower takes in all of this. Very good. It seems the young man hasn't disappointed me. But just as he's feeling proud, the second-in-command Gobzo rushes in frantically. This is bad. The human army is advancing this way. The 8th division fighting them has already fallen. It's only a matter of time before they reach us. Abandoning this nearly completed fortress makes Lodrin very reluctant, but he can't withstand Gobzo's firm attitude. We must retreat immediately. After hearing this, Lodrin looks downstairs. He knows well that since ancient times, the purpose of war has been to plunder wealth. And for Lodrin, the most precious treasure here is none other than Ill. You retreat first, I'll follow with Ill later. After saying this, he kicks open the window. And this scene happens to be seen by Ill. Looks like today's combat training can't proceed. That guy has been monitoring from behind. At this moment, Lodrin suddenly lands behind Ill and gently turns his body. Listen, Ill, there's no time. We must retreat. Wait, where to? Ill is confused. However, as they argue, the human army has already arrived on the scene. Charge. With the commander's order, the war between humans and demons breaks out. But soon, the commander spots Lodrin standing to the side. The Red Nightmare is there, make killing him the top priority. Ill quickly realizes what's happening. The human army is attacking. Maybe this is a good opportunity. If I just stab Lodrin in the back, I can return to human society as a hero. Just as Ill is thinking about how to act, a human knight charges over at extreme speed. But Lodrin simply reaches out and directly crushes the opponent's solid skull. However, something even more terrifying follows. As he grabs the knight and slams him heavily into the ground, the devastating strike immediately spreads across the field, defeating nearly all the humans on sight. And the first thing he does after finishing is gently turn his head to look at Ill. Are you okay? Frightened? Ill immediately salutes. Sir, I'm fine. I'll retreat right away. Although Lodrin single-handedly defeated an entire human squad due to pressure from reinforcements, they still choose to retreat. My adventure is over. My second life is over. Ill is stunned. He never expected this guy to be so strong that with just one strike, he shattered his dream of returning to human society. army. Look on the bright side. Going to Demon Army headquarters is a chance to learn about their military strength, right? Shut up, you liar. Il will never believe this so-called goddess's nonsense again. But their argument wakes the sleeping Lodron. Did you say something? I was asleep and didn't hear. Il quickly waves his hand in denial. No, I was saying how honored I am to be with you, sir. After hearing this, Lodron's face reddens slightly, and a strange thought forms in his mind. When we reach headquarters, I'll officially recommend you join the Demon Army. Il is instantly petrified. This means his future escape is basically hopeless. It's my honor. 5 hours later, the convoy arrives at Demon Army headquarters, and the first thing after getting off, Lodron prepares to bring Il to meet the commander. Although he knows this is somewhat improper, he firmly believes the commander will also like this young man. But you need to watch your words a bit, otherwise, you might die. Soon, the two arrive outside the hall. Commander Hermes, it's me, Lodron. As his words fall, a gentle female voice immediately comes from inside. Come in. Having gained permission, Lodron enters the hall and generously takes responsibility for losing the fortress. But Hermes doesn't think so. She believes it's the supply officer's fault. If it weren't for the material shortage, the castle might have been completed already. I'll prepare a body bag for him. While speaking, Hermes' body instantly releases a terrifying aura that directly causes Il to be unable to breathe, and even his limbs instinctively start to feel fear. What is this oppressive feeling? It's stronger than anyone I've encountered before. After a while, Hermes withdraws her aura and notices Il beside them, so she asks Lodron who he is. This is the person I told you about before, Il. I brought him to join the Demon Army. After hearing this, Hermes instantly flashes in front of Il. She first shows strong interest in the talent Lodron recommended, but also raises a concern. He has a human body. He might very well get eaten here. Get eaten? Il is instantly shocked and looks at Lodron like he's a lifeline. With me here, you don't need to worry. I'll personally train you and make you strong enough. But this proposal is flatly rejected by Hermes because she thinks it's obviously not worth it for a high-ranking officer like Lodron to train a human. So she puts her hand into her mouth and vigorously rummages around. Then her body starts twisting crazily. Finally, she spits out a strange creature from the top of her head. From today on, you're my pet guardian. His name is Popo. Isn't he cute? Cute? Cute my foot. Il just wants to stay far away from this thing. But under pressure from Hermes, he ultimately can only choose to compromise. It's my honor to care for Popo. Very good. Hermes says this and tosses the dog over, then tells Il some good news. Don't forget to feed him. When he's hungry, he gets angry, and when angry, he likes to eat his guardian. Just like that, Il successfully joins the Demon Army, and simultaneously receives a hero mission, the content of which is to win Popo's love. Il turns to look at the sleeping Popo. What the heck does this have to do with me becoming a hero? Just as he's thinking, the room door is suddenly pushed open, and a balding goblin walks in. His partner in caring for Popo. Il first shows goodwill toward the other, but at the same time, he understands that if there's danger, the other will definitely use him as food first. You and I need to go prepare Popo's dinner now. The balding goblin states the work in a commanding tone. If you understand, you can now. Before he finishes speaking, Popo has already woken up. Frightened, the balding goblin immediately hides behind Il. This newcomer is the food prepared for you. Saying this, he tries to restrain Il to make it easier for Popo to eat. One of us has to die anyway, so why shouldn't it be you? But the balding goblin ultimately underestimates Il's strength and is instantly thrown away. Snack time. A moment later, the sounds of Popo chewing and swallowing stop. But after eating, he's still not full, so the goddess Rachel becomes his target. Save me! Quickly save me! As they run, Popo's anger grows higher and higher, even treating Il as food. Quick! Think of a way to calm down an angry dog. Got it. Il has a flash of inspiration. Absolutely no dog can be indifferent to these words. Go outside and play. Hearing this, Popo's eyes immediately become clear. Then he pounces into his arms. Just as I thought. Soon, Il brings Popo outside, but they don't know where the kitchen is. But just as they're wandering around, a goblin unexpectedly appears before them. So Il quickly calls out to him, "Hey there, where's the kitchen?" Kitchen? The kitchen is on the right. After saying this, the goblin runs off without looking back. This scene makes Il laugh out loud. Are all the Demon Army people this timid? Looks like I can rely on the dog's power from now on. However, just as he's feeling proud, he turns his head to find that Popo has already disappeared. Oh no, where did the dog go? So the two frantically search. But fortunately, hard work pays off, and soon they see Popo again. My precious, do you know how worried I was? Il looks down and seems to notice something wrong. Did you just bite someone to death? Just as Il is shocked, a loud shout comes from not far away. Captain Regis has been eaten. I'm guessing it was Popo. Rachel's smile instantly freezes. Who else could it be? Il quickly grabs Popo and runs, and the goblins quickly follow. Unfortunately, their short legs can't catch up with Il. However, by unfortunate coincidence, Il and the others actually run straight into a dead end. Turning around, a large group of goblins has already surrounded them. The human who killed the captain will take you down too. too. Another goblin licks his lips. I hope our captain hasn't been digested yet. I've always wanted to taste what the captain tastes like. Faced with this almost desperate situation, Il suddenly has a flash of inspiration. He thinks he might be able to intimidate them. How dare you be so rude? Saying this, Il suddenly shakes Popo in his arms. Do you know who he is? He's Popo. As his words fall, the goblins on site almost instinctively step back. They all know well how terrifying Hermes is. Commander Hermes is pet, but there's also one who's not afraid of death, suspecting this human is lying to them. So Il crouches down and strokes Popo's chin a few times. Beast mode activated. As soon as he releases his hand, Popo immediately pounces on that goblin. That's what you get for not believing. In just 15 seconds, Popo has already eaten him clean. Anyone else who doesn't believe? No. The remaining goblins bow in submission. But at the same time, Hermes' voice suddenly comes from behind Il. I wondered why it was so noisy here. Turns out it's a cute newcomer doing something interesting. Afterwards, he's called to the office. After learning the ins and outs of this matter, Hermes laughs out loud. So you're using my and Popo's identity to survive? Seeing this, Il immediately kneels to admit his mistake. But Hermes actually thinks there's nothing wrong with doing this. I suppose you're still a human after all, and quite clever at that. Hermes says this while lifting Il's chin. But you're a man. You should learn our demon army's tradition, which is to solve things with force. Hermes returns to her seat, then asks Il a question. Are you interested in becoming a senior officer of our demon army? Il is instantly stunned. With his meager skills, the only way to become an officer would be to sell himself out. I know it's difficult with your current strength. Hermes explains the rules to him. Demons can seize someone's rank through dueling. You can no longer use my and Popo's names. I know this is difficult, so I'll protect you for 1 month. After 1 month, you must defeat the opponent I choose for you. If you win, I'll continue protecting you for another month until you climb to the position of battalion commander. Il can't help but swallow. What if I lose? Hermes grins wickedly. If possible, you'd better die in battle. Il has no choice and can only agree with Hermes. She even set my opponent right there on the spot. Looks like I only have 30 days left to live. Il dejectedly comes outside the kitchen, planning to find something for Popo to eat. But after arriving at the door, he discovers the door is covered in blood. Therefore, Il only dares to stick his head in, ready to escape at any time. Hello, sorry to disturb. As soon as the words fall, a red goblin turns his head. He's the head chef, Kulkin. You must be the human the commander mentioned. Il quickly nods with a smile and explains his purpose, which is to get some food for Popo. Unexpectedly, the other doesn't even think before saying there isn't any. This instantly shocks Il. I have no obligation to help you. Commander Hermes' only order is that we can't touch you. If you want meat, then like us, go participate in the hunt yourself. Saying this, he points to a group of goblins behind him, who are dismembering goblins, while gleefully eating. Is this Captain Puck's meat? It tastes pretty good. Seeing this scene, Il is instantly stunned. These people aren't cooks, they're demons. But to avoid becoming Popo's food, he still chooses to go hunting outside with this group of goblins. Unexpectedly, just the first hunt, Il encounters deadly danger. But fortunately, there's a group of goblins in front who block this attack for him. Looking at the not quite dead creature in front of him, Il is stunned. Who's actually hunting whom here? At this moment, Rachel suddenly makes a suggestion, which is to escape while they can. Il agrees with this choice because he feels staying here will lead to trouble sooner or later. But just as he lifts his foot, Kulkan immediately calls out to him. I'll lead the charge. No need. Kulkan glances at him because the hunt is already complete. This greatly surprises Il. He was only stunned for a dozen seconds, yet they've already killed this massive creature. But despite this, the goblins still paid a heavy price. 13 dead and 25 seriously injured to end this hunt. But Kulkan shows no sadness about such heavy casualties, and is instead very satisfied with this result. Let the team rest for a moment and prepare for the next hunt. After thinking for a while, Il suddenly abandons the idea of escaping. Really, my Mr. Hero, are you really going to hunt monsters with them? No, I don't need to do that. Il has thought it through. As long as he participates in the kills here, he can gain experience and level up. Even if he just lightly punches the monster, as long as the final blow is his, he can get all the experience. So I don't need to try hard. Rachel is instantly stunned after hearing this. Is this guy really a genius? But you're taking shortcuts. She doesn't want her hero to be this kind of person. But Il has made up his mind. I must become strong enough within this 1 month. After saying this, he comes before Kulkan, and the other seems to see through his intention to escape at a glance. Human, I didn't expect you'd come back. I've been here all along. Il quickly plays dumb. Then he expresses his desire to participate in the hunt. You human. Kulkan doesn't immediately state his decision, but instead stares at him intently. This makes Il's heart race. The previous officers liked my humble attitude. Is this guy different? But it turns out he's overthinking. The next second, Kulkan laughs out loud. A human actually says such brave words, how cute. Il scratches his head. It's all because of your influence, chef. Dizzy from the flattery, Kulkan makes another decision, which is to let Il lead the team to hunt monsters. This instantly stuns Il. He just wanted to hang back and leech experience. No, how can a humble human like me stand before the noble demons? It will make them unhappy. Just as they're arguing, a panicked goblin suddenly runs over from not far away. He immediately explains the situation to Kulkin. A pack of wild wolves is attacking. In stark contrast to the goblin's situation, Kulkin appears very calm. He grips the cleaver behind him. More good meat to eat. Little ones, let's go. Perfect, Il grins slyly. I just need to time it right and land the final blow. I'll help you too, Mr. Hero, Rachel says nearby and immediately uses magic. This greatly enhances Il's physical strength, though it only lasts 3 minutes. She thought this would earn praise, but instead is met with a sandbag-sized fist. You have this and didn't use it earlier. With the enhancement, Il's confidence surges. They're just 5 black wolves. Then he suddenly leaps up and punches a dying black wolf on the ground. Level up, level up. Unexpectedly, after stealing 1 kill, he directly gains 4 whole levels. But just as Il is overjoyed, he suddenly sees a goblin nearby trying to finish off another. So he pushes the other away. Sorry, my foot slipped. Looking at the black wolves lying on the ground, Il greedily licks his lips. All the final blows are mine. Under his leadership, the 5 black wolves are quickly eliminated. Il intends to leave right away, but unexpectedly at this moment, Kulkin calls him back and tells him it's time to enjoy the feast. This is the chef's privilege, to enjoy the freshest delicacies. With that, he hands Il a piece of meat. As someone who contributed, perhaps you should try some too. Looking at the bleeding raw meat before him, Il feels deeply resistant, but doesn't dare refuse this kind gesture, so he forces himself to take a bite. The meat itself is fine, but eating it plain and raw doesn't taste good at all. As Il chews, inspiration suddenly strikes. If he can make more delicious food, perhaps he can use it to control them. So Il doesn't hesitate any longer and immediately purchases a bottle of MSG from the hero shop. This triggers strong disapproval from the goddess Rachel, as she believes something as precious as hero points shouldn't be wasted on trivial items like seasoning. Even if they think it tastes good, it won't make any difference. You need to see the bigger picture. Il ignores her opinion and instead picks up a piece of meat and starts grilling it, intending to silence Rachel with results. Just watch. With this method, even a shoe insole would taste incredible. The moment he sprinkles seasoning on the tender medium rare grilled meat, an intensely rich aroma bursts forth. I am the culinary god of this world. Il is extremely satisfied with his creation. Once it's done, he immediately brings it to head chef Kulkin, as freshly grilled meat is the most tempting. But Kulkin only glances at it and politely declines right away. Thanks, but I'm already full. Faced with this situation, Il doesn't give up. This is my ultimate creation. If you would honor me by trying it, I'd have no regrets even if I died right now. Under his repeated pleading, Kulkin finally softens, takes the grilled meat, and bites into it. But unexpectedly, this single bite instantly transports him back to his childhood. It's the taste of my mother. Kulkin is extremely satisfied with the grilled meat, so to thank Il, he gives him a large bag of fresh meat in return. If you need anything, feel free to come find me again. Il carries the fresh meat back to his quarters. Popo, I'm back! But unexpectedly, as soon as the words leave his mouth, Popo lunges at him with jaws wide open. In desperation, Il quickly pulls out the fresh meat from the bag, finally managing to satisfy Popo's appetite. Buddy, eat as much as you want. With a source of food secured, Il no longer has to worry about becoming Popo's meal, and completely becomes his master instead. After devouring 30 pounds of fresh meat, Popo's affection for Il greatly increases. Congratulations on completing the quest. You've successfully gained Popo's favor. Reward, 200 hero points. Completing the quest greatly boosts Il's confidence. Excellent. This went exactly as I planned. He immediately opens his status panel. But Rachel, watching from the side, is instantly stunned. Are you planning to save those 22 free attribute points for your next life or something? That's because a certain idiot didn't tell me what these things are for. Il immediately retorts, successfully silencing Rachel, since as his personal goddess, she has the duty to educate Il about everything in this world. Alright, Rachel says and immediately begins explaining. Attributes are divided into 4 categories: strength, agility, stamina, and magic power. Wait, Il immediately interrupts her, because he sees a 5th category, charm. That one's different. Through Rachel's explanation, he learns that charm is a hidden attribute that can't be obtained through occasion, only improved through training. However, from what I can see, Il's charm toward male monsters is actually quite high. Rachel continues explaining. Physical attributes are more important in the early stages, but it's completely different in the late game, when magic power becomes dominant. Il follows the advice and allocates most of his points to physical attributes. Now you can go to the hero shop and purchase basic principles of magic control. Rachel continues her tutorial. It will teach you how to control magic power, and it only costs about 100 hero points. But Il searches through the hero shop again and again, yet can't find this so-called magic control guide anywhere. How is that possible? I remember it being one of the most common items in the hero shop. Rachel looks completely confused. Il lets out a deep sigh. He thought his personal goddess might finally be useful, but it seems he was overthinking it. No, I swear it's in there. 3 weeks quickly pass this way. During this time, Il finally reaches level 100. This took longer than I expected. I must be the hardest working hero in this world. The prolonged intense work leaves him in agony. What are you talking about? Aren't you basically idle now? Idle? This word instantly enrages Il, and he slaps Rachel to the ground. Do you know how many times I almost died? But normally it takes half a year to reach level 100. I was just trying to be nice, no offense intended. Rachel looks wronged. You brought this on yourself! But just as the two are bickering, the door outside suddenly bursts open, and a goblin rushes in frantically. Beast Tamer Il, the commander demands to see you. Receiving the order, Il doesn't dare delay, and quickly arrives at Hermes' office. His physical transformation amazes even Hermes. In less than a month, Il's physique has visibly grown so much stronger, and his magic power has even doubled. That's all from working hard to find food for Popo. Il quickly makes an excuse, trying to brush it off. But this doesn't escape Hermes' sharp eyes. Is it because of the hero system? Il immediately breaks into a cold sweat. Does she know I'm a hero? Hermes stands up. She tells Il that from the very first time they met, she saw through everything. The reason she didn't say anything was because he's deeply favored by Lodrin, and now there's one more reason not to kill him, which is the duel in a few days. Yes, Hermes nods. Then suddenly a terrifying aura erupts from her body and she transforms into her true form and lunges at Il, but when they're less than half a meter apart, she immediately stops. If you don't want to die, work hard and try to make me happy, okay? After saying this, Hermes sends Il back to his quarters. What exactly will excite the audience? Flashy performances or overwhelming domination? Il keeps pondering this question because if he can't satisfy Hermes, he's dead. What do we do? What do we do? We're going to die. Rachel performs as consistently useless as ever, offering absolutely no help. Let me think. Il opens the hero shop, believing that knowing yourself and your enemy leads to victory. However, aside from the opponent's name, they know absolutely nothing else. Perfect. This is it. Il doesn't hesitate to purchase an item, a power gauge, which can help him measure the opponent's combat power. Il points the power gauge at Rachel, and it shows a combat power of 375, without a reference point. He doesn't know what level this combat power represents. Then let me check yours, Rachel suggests. She then stands behind the power gauge and points it at Il, and the bizarre number instantly stuns her. This power gauge must be broken, right? How could you possibly be stronger than me? Because it shows that Il's combat power is a staggering 1,560. What's so surprising about that? Anyone can see you're the weakest one here, Il says as he takes back the power gauge. Rachel tears up, because before being sent to this other world, her power was over 10,000. To confirm the power gauge is working properly, Il turns to look at Popo. Let me see what this little guy's power level is. Holy crap. The moment he sees the number, Il is stunned. 47,400? I can't believe we're both weaker than a dog. Are we sure this is even a purebred? After thinking for a moment, Il decides to take the power gauge outside to check other people's levels. The weakest are the young goblins, while most others are roughly at his level, but those with commander ranks all have combat power exceeding 10,000. You said my opponent is a platoon leader, right? Rachel nods. His name is Iskulkin. I heard he's a half-orc with a pig's head. If he's just a platoon leader, Il estimates his combat power should be around 3,000. If I level up now, I should still be able to handle him. But while the ideal is promising, reality strikes him hard. When Il sees the opponent's combat power, he's instantly shocked into a cold sweat. The guy has over 6,000 combat power. Fighting him would be suicide. While Il is still in shock, the hero system suddenly pops up. Your chance of beating that pig is virtually zero. However, not giving up in desperate situations is your strength, which is why I'm giving you this chance. Increase your combat power to 3,000 within 1 week. Reward, 300 hero points. This quest appears at just the right time. Il grins. Alright, no matter what, I'm doing this. Whether it's the Observer or Hermes, just wait for me. I will survive to the end. The next morning, Il returns to the kitchen, where Kulkan is present. Looking at Il's power gauge, he can't help but ask, "That's a nice fashion accessory. Where'd you get it?" Il scratches his head. "I saw others had one, so I bought myself one too." Kulkan turns away. He doesn't understand young people's fashion sense these days, so he tells Il to get ready for hunting. "Yes, sir." While Kulkan's back is turned, Il quickly checks him with the power gauge. Over 35,000. This isn't the level of an ordinary commander. No, it's not just him. Il quickly scans everyone in the kitchen, and their combat power is all significantly higher than ordinary soldiers. Is this what comes from constantly fighting monsters? Looking at this situation, an idea suddenly forms in Il's mind. If he finds someone here with similar combat power to spar with, wouldn't that let him know his actual level? "Commander Kulkan, please allow me to spar with one of the kitchen staff." Spar? Kulkan is taken aback. "Yes, I think this kind of training will be more helpful for my future." Kulkan looks serious. He feels that Il, as a human, is already strong enough and doesn't need to rush his training. Il shows a disappointed expression. "What a shame. I brought some meat to grill as thanks today, but I guess we'll have to eat it another time." Il pretends to put the meat from his backpack away. Kulkan grabs Il. "Let's start right now. Who do you want to fight?" Preparations for the sparring match quickly begin. Il chooses a beastman named Gorbakum as his opponent. The reason for choosing Gorbakum instead of other kitchen soldiers is simple. First, he's the same type of beastman as Kulkan, and Gorbakum appears to be the dumbest among the kitchen soldiers. However, his combat power is 2,500, almost double Il's. To be honest, he doesn't think he can win. "But I must win. This beastman before me is much weaker than Kulkan. If I can't even beat him, I'll have no chance against Kulkan. What's going on? Don't we need to go hunting? Il and Gorbakum are going to spar?" The kitchen soldiers gather around after hearing the news. "Spar? What's that?" Fight? How do you not understand? You mean kill each other? Does that mean Il will die? The slow-witted kitchen soldiers discuss seriously. If Il dies, who's going to grill the meat? We can't survive without meat. Let's kill Gorbakum first. That's a great idea. Just as the unfortunate kitchen soldier Gorbakum's death sentence is about to be declared, Kulkin steps in to mediate. Shut up, you fools. Sparring isn't killing, it's just testing each other's strength. The kitchen soldiers murmur under Kulkin's explanation. Is it arm wrestling? Maybe tug of war? Kulkin decides to ignore these fools. Listen up, Gorbakum. He just needs to make sure Gorbakum, Il's sparring partner, understands the situation. You absolutely cannot kill Il. You can fight, but hold back, understand? Got it. Gorbakum answers with a stupid expression, casually scratching his head with vacant eyes, looking completely unreliable. But don't hold back too much either. Just hurt him enough so he really feels it, understand? Understood. It'd be best if you don't break anything. Sparring is really tricky. After this is over, I'll give you more meat, so do your best. Upon hearing the word meat, Gorbakum's eyes instantly light up. Leave it to me, head chef. Gorbakum suddenly speaks fluently and steps forward. Il, let's begin our sparring match. Alright, please go easy on me. Gorbakum and Il stand facing each other, maintaining a certain distance. Kulkin serves as referee and raises his arm. Ready, begin. As Kulkin's arm drops, the match begins. Gorbakum assumes his stance. I don't want to hurt him too much. Il is the one who grills meat. Don't want to harm him. Il charges at Gorbakum at full speed from the start. Gorbakum raises his arm, but even a gentle strike is enough to crush his face. However, unexpectedly, Gorbakum's fist doesn't hit Il. It only cuts through empty air. At the same time, he sees Il's leg strike and seems to hear the wind slicing through the air. Big shoo. The mud-covered soul grows larger and larger. I'm going to get hit. That is Gorbakum's last memory. Unsurprisingly, Gorbakum is defeated by Il with just one kick. 2 hours later, the 3rd Legion arrives at the forest behind headquarters. Although no monsters have appeared yet, Il is already in an unusually excited state. To be honest, he didn't expect to win, but he knocked down a beastman with twice his combat power in one strike. So now he knows that combat power doesn't determine everything, and he stands a fighting chance against Iskulkin. Of course, Iskulkin is much stronger than today's Gorbakum, possessing power that truly deserves to be called monstrous. A large number of young Taras have appeared ahead. Finally, the news Il has been waiting for arrives. Really? So this area is Taras territory? Kulkan is puzzled. This is a bit strange. This region normally doesn't have Taras populations. This makes the usually decisive Kulkan somewhat hesitant. Il approaches him. Is there a problem? Is Taras meat not tasty? No, Taras meat is quite delicious, especially that chewy Taras bone marrow. It's an absolute delicacy. But Taras are social creatures. If we're not careful, they might swarm out in groups, especially the mother Taras, the Taras queen, who has strong maternal instincts. If we provoke her children, it'll be very troublesome. So can we call it a day now? Il scratches his head and laughs. No, since Taras meat is delicious, we still need to capture them, Kulkan says calmly. Anyway, the Taras queen rarely appears outside her nest, so it should be fine. He raises his giant cleaver. Everyone charge! Today's snack is Taras bone marrow. The kitchen soldiers sound the battle cry and begin charging. Be careful. Capture them alive. Their bodily fluids are the essence. As the kitchen soldiers begin fighting, Il starts his performance. He accidentally knocks a soldier away, then steals the final blow on monsters. The final blow is mine. I need to level up. Il kicks down one after another, his level continuously rising. You're really good at kill stealing, hero. Of course, Il laughs happily. At this rate, he'll definitely surpass Iskulkin soon. But at this moment, the ground suddenly begins shaking with tremendous noise. What's going on? Il looks around in confusion. The kitchen soldiers are equally shocked. But soon, the culprit behind the tremors quietly reveals itself. It's the Taras queen. Her massive body nearly darkens the sky itself. Looking at the pile of young Taras corpses on the ground, the queen's body trembles with rage. She wants to make this group pay with their lives immediately. Il raises his head to look. He wants to know just how much combat power this queen, whom even Kulkin fears, possesses. But just as Il points the power gauge at her, the power gauge immediately sounds an alarm. Immeasurable! Immeasurable! Kulkin, what should we do now? Il turns his head, only to see Kulkin's fleeing back. Everyone, may fate bring us together again. Try to stay alive. Il is stunned. What the hell, that irresponsible bastard. In this tense moment, the Taras queen's legs shoot toward everyone like bullets. A large group of goblins who don't react in time are instantly killed. But the queen still isn't satisfied, and she releases a roar that echoes through the heavens, nearly shattering Il's eardrums. Why is this thing making such a weird noise? But before he can figure it out, Rachel's voice suddenly sounds in his ear. Hero, look behind you. Alerted, Il turns his head and sees a shocking sight. Countless young Taras are swarming toward him. Run! Il has no choice but to flee with the main group. Those who run too slowly are instantly killed by the queen. Save me! Anguished screams spread through the crowd. But Il can't worry about that. He knows if he stops, he's as good as dead. He doesn't want to die. After running for 10 minutes, Il quickly reaches a cave. Should be safe hiding in here, right? Rachel nods. Safe. I checked. There are no monsters inside. Although Il doesn't trust her words, inside should at least be safer than out in the open. So after thinking for a moment, he enters anyway. This cave is deep and spacious. as if naturally formed. Doesn't that mean the Taurus Queen can squeeze in here too? Rachel's words instantly freeze Il. He quickly scans the surroundings and discovers a puddle of green slime on the rocks. This can't be left by terrors, can it? But Kulkan said there are no terrors around here. So they continue deeper inside, only to discover an even more terrifying sight. The depths of the cave are covered with countless terrace eggs. Is this the Terrace Queen's nest? Il looks at everything before him in disbelief. We can't stay here. However, while he's in a daze, a Terrace's spike rapidly strikes at him. Il dodges to the side. Why is there an adult Taurus here too? With no time to think, he randomly picks a direction and starts running. Are you sure this direction is the exit? Il doesn't answer Rachel, just keeps running. But soon, he's tripped by an unknown object. In desperation, Il randomly grabs an egg from the ground as a weapon. He throws it at the terrace with all his might, and unsurprisingly, it catches it. But the terrace holds the egg very carefully, as if afraid to break it. What's going on? Il looks at the terrace, which has stopped attacking. Is it trying to protect that egg? Rachel is silent for a few seconds. I think it likes the thing you threw. There's slime all over it. Il turns to look at the eggs on the ground, and an idea suddenly forms in his mind. Could these be terrace eggs? Il grins, then picks up another egg. This action instantly makes the terrace tense up. He then assumes a throwing stance, deliberately throwing it away from the creature, but the doting adult terrace still catches it. What terrifying speed! What should we do next? Il smirks, isn't it obvious? I've got over 100 eggs here. Over 10 minutes later, the adult terrace is exhausted and panting. But despite this, most of the eggs couldn't be saved. Come on, give me the next egg. Il extends his hand to Rachel. That was the last one. Upon hearing this news, Il is instantly stunned. This is bad. The enraged adult terrace no longer holds back, and immediately charges at extreme speed. Buff me! Quick, buff me! Rachel complies, and Il's arm glows with blue light. That thing has become weak from catching eggs, so I can win. Il raises his fist and strikes with all his might. The moment they connect, the terrace's shell instantly shatters in half, revealing pure white bone. I won! Il looks at himself in disbelief. Hero, are you okay? The moment the buff disappears, Il feels like his body is about to collapse. It really hurts. Wait, I can cast a healing spell, Rachel says as her hands emit dazzling light, and Il's twisted wounds slowly begin to heal. After his wounds are healed, he immediately allocates all the attribute points from leveling up. But the next second, a familiar voice comes from deep within the cave. Il looks up in surprise, and it's Kulkan. You're still alive too? Of course. Il feels speechless thinking about how he fled. How did you end up here? I found this cave while escaping. I think we're both very lucky. Kulkan laughs happily. However, at this moment, Il tells him this is the terrace nest. Those are all terrace eggs. This place is their hatchery. Kulkan stares at the eggs with burning eyes without responding. These soft eggs are top-tier ingredients. Most people die without ever tasting them. We need to run now! Il can't help but curse. Kulkan takes an egg and puts it in his mouth. The Terrace Queen chasing me has probably already come in. To defeat her, we'd need at least a command regiment's worth of forces. So come enjoy this last supper. While the two are arguing, footsteps suddenly sound from outside, and it's the kitchen soldiers. Is this really my last meal? Il refuses to accept it, because he doesn't even have a wife in this other world yet. My life can't end like this. Meanwhile, in Commander Hermes' office, she summons Laudrin. No need for such formal procedures. How's the task I gave you going? As you ordered, I successfully captured the next Saintess. I knew it. I knew you could do it. In just about 3 weeks, Laudrin successfully captured the Holy Empire's elected Saintess. Well done. Hermes pats Laudrin's head. But at this moment, the room's door is suddenly pushed open. Commander, I have an urgent report. The kitchen staff reported an accident while gathering ingredients. Doesn't that happen every day? What's so surprising about it? Hermes purses her lips. But the scale of casualties this time is quite large. They encountered the Taurus Queen. Most of the kitchen staff, including head chef Kulkan, are either dead or missing. Hermes strokes her chin thoughtfully. What about Il? He's also missing. Listening to the conversation, Laudrin freezes, shocked. Il is missing too. Meanwhile, inside the cave, Kulkan and the kitchen staff are all absorbed in the world of eating eggs. Il sighs deeply, then smashes a book hard at Kulkan. The intense pain immediately snaps him awake. What are you doing? You seem to be under some mysterious curse, so I use this method to wake you up. Il makes up an excuse on the spot, but actually he just doesn't want to see Kulkan so dejected. As for the book in his hand, it's the Beast Encyclopedia that Il exchanged for 50 hero points in the shop. It contains information on nearly all demon beasts, including Terras. It reads, they are spider-type demon beasts, social creatures with highly developed leg muscles. To defeat Terras, you must target their relatively weak points, especially the torso and head. Terra's bodily fluids are highly flammable. Their eggs contain a bomb-like flammable liquid. Caves built with Terra's saliva also have weak resistance to flames, so be careful not to use fire magic inside. After reviewing the Terrace's weaknesses, Il closes the book. Kulkan, can you use fire magic? Kulkan turns his head. A little bit of the basics, like shooting fireballs. He sighs. Give it up. Terra's shells can't be burned through by my level of flames. Il rolls his eyes at him, because his plan isn't to burn the Terrace at all. Everyone listen up. I have an escape plan. A goblin chef sighs. Futile struggle. Better to just stay here and keep eating eggs. Facing this situation, Il doesn't give up and continues encouraging them. If we successfully escape, not only will there be terrace eggs to eat, but I'll also provide unlimited deluxe grilled meat meals. Thinking of the delicious grilled meat finally rekindles everyone's interest. Let's start now. Even Kulkin immediately calls out to Il, drooling, "What's our plan?" A few seconds later, he announces his plan. "What we need to do is just keep running toward the exit. No matter what happens, we're not allowed to stop. Move out." As soon as the words leave his mouth, Il takes the lead and runs ahead, with everyone following close behind. But unfortunately, they only run a short distance before encountering a large group of adult Taras. "Kulkin, get ready!" Il holds 2 eggs in his hands, then throws them forcefully at the wall beside them. Kulkin simultaneously launches fire magic. The moment the terrace egg fluid contacts the flames, a violent explosion occurs. The shockwave nearly destroys the entire cave. To protect the remaining eggs, the adult Taras have no choice but to abandon pursuing Il and put out the fire first. While they're distracted, run quickly. Although everyone keeps running, the complex terrain makes it difficult to find the exit. Only 1 egg left. We must find the exit before it's used up, Il shouts. Rachel suddenly spots light in the distance. "Over there, there's light, it's the exit." Dodging the relentless attacks of the adult Taras, Il runs in that direction. Soon they get closer and closer to the light. We're almost out, but just as they're about to reach the exit, Il stops in shock, because what appears before them is none other than the massive Taras Queen. She single-handedly blocks the entire cave exit. "We're finished. The Taras Queen has returned." Although her expression is extremely enraged, the Taras Queen doesn't actively attack them. He guesses this might be related to the egg in his hand, as Taras are creatures with extremely strong maternal instincts. Without any hesitation, Il tears off a large piece of fabric from his sleeve and has Kulkan ignite it. Then he raises both items high. "If this egg explodes, we'll all die here, but at the same time, the cave will collapse, and all your offspring will be buried with us." Il shouts, "If you don't want this, then move aside and let us out." The Taras Queen flies into a rage upon hearing this. She wants to kill Il immediately, but her instinct to protect her offspring stops her. Not only does she refuse to back down, but she lets out an ear-piercing shriek that echoes through the sky. With no other choice, Il ignites the Taras egg. Then he hurls it violently into the cave. The Taras egg explodes violently the moment it hits the wall. The entire cave trembles non-stop. "Don't tell me it's going to collapse." Watching the massive rocks continuously falling from above, Il immediately realizes the cave is about to collapse. "Everyone, run outside." With that, Il quickly dashes toward the cave exit, but shortly after running out, he suddenly stops in his tracks, because at this moment, he actually hears the sound of himself leveling up. Rachel looks confused and tries to pull him outside, but she can't budge him at all. As the cave continues collapsing, level up notifications keep ringing out one after another. Il is completely stunned. "Looks like all the Terras crushed to death here are giving me their experience points. Could it be because I collapsed the cave?" Not daring to linger any longer, Il rushes outside. Escaping past the Taras Queen's blockade is no small challenge, though he has no choice. Fortunately at this moment, Kulkin pulls out a precious Taras egg from his collection. Then he looks at it reluctantly. "I'll use this egg to buy us a way out," but as soon as he finishes speaking, the Taras Queen's attack comes rushing in. Without any hesitation, Il slides right under the Queen and slips away. But just as he's about to escape, the Taras Queen spits out spider silk from her mouth, wrapping around Il's arm. "This is bad. I'm going to die." However, at this moment, a deep crimson figure blocks his path. It's Lodrin. "Are you alright?" Il looks shocked. He doesn't understand why Lodrin is here. "I knew you were still alive," Lodrin smirks. "From now on, I'm taking over here." As he speaks, a terrifying power erupts from his body, directly shattering the Taras Queen. This scene leaves Il stunned in an instant. Holy crap, he's insanely powerful. The final result of this hunt was that 99 chefs went missing or died, including head chef Kulkin. After the battle ends, Il returns to Popo's room. Thank goodness for that bullhead, or we'd be dead for sure. Rachel lets out a relieved sigh after narrowly escaping death. But soon, Il delivers a reality check. "Enjoy the moment while it lasts. We're about to be done for. My duel with Kulkin is starting soon." Rachel disagrees. "Haven't you already grown a lot? You gained a full 75 levels from this cave collapse." Now Il has reached level 200, but he still only has 30,500 battle power, while his opponent has a full 6,000. But Il has thought about it. Victory in battle isn't just about battle power. His sparring match with Gorbakum was a perfect example. Rachel nods in agreement. Exactly. Fighting isn't just about raw strength, it's also about magic. If you want to beat an opponent of that level, you must learn how to use magic. But unfortunately, Il doesn't know how at all. Easy for you to say. However, Rachel says, changing her tone, "You seem to have some experience using magic back at the Taras hatchery." Her words leave Il puzzled. Did I use magic? Could it be back then? Just as Il is lost in thought, Lodrin pushes the door open, startling Il quite a bit. "Sir, what brings you to our humble quarters?" Lodrin explains his purpose. He wants to take Il to see Commander Hermes. Under Lodrin's guidance, the two quickly arrive at Hermes' office. "What brings you here, Lodrin? You don't usually come see me on your own." Without any unnecessary chatter, Lodrin gets straight to the point. "Commander, let me personally train Il. Kulkin is a platoon leader. but I've recently discovered his strength actually makes him more suitable to be deputy battalion commander. Therefore, Lodron feels this battle is extremely unfair to Il. Let me train Il. I can bring out his maximum potential. Il is completely stunned. Why would he do this? Then he silently prays in his heart that Hermes won't agree. But unexpectedly, Hermes agrees without even thinking. Thank you, sir. If you have nothing else, then leave. I still have matters to attend to. With no choice, Il has no opportunity to object. Thank you very much, my great commander. We'll take our leave. After they leave, Hermes smirks, because she discovered that in these short few days, Il's strength has actually doubled. It's quite interesting that a human can grow so fast, but this also troubles me a bit. If Lodron helps him, then Kulkan might actually lose. I absolutely cannot let this happen. Hermes already has a perfect plan in mind. On the other side, Lodron and Il quickly arrive at the training grounds. This is my private training ground. Il is stunned. Hermes actually gave him his own personal training ground. She must value this guy highly. Lodron stops in his tracks and turns to stare intently at Il. He discovers that the other person actually possesses enormous magical power, but still doesn't know how to use it. Being stared at by Lodron makes Il uneasy. He has no idea what the other wants. It's best to teach him the basics first, but the duel starts in just 4 days. We don't have much time. Lodron suddenly turns around and clenches his fist. He decides to push Il to his limits to unlock his potential. Pain is part of growth. Il has no time to react and is directly hit by Lodron's heavy punch. What is this guy doing? Has he lost his mind? Didn't he say he'd train me? Why is he suddenly attacking me? Without much hesitation, Lodron clenches his fist again and closes in. Focus everything on blocking, otherwise you'll die for sure. Warned, Il raises his arms to block, but the opponent's tremendous force still sends him flying several meters away. Strange. His body strength isn't high, but his reaction speed and perception are quite good. His mental strength is exceptional. Lodron speculates that when they first met, his failure to dodge Il's kick wasn't an accident. This guy has extremely rich combat experience. Lodron rushes rapidly toward Il. That bet you made with Commander Hermes? If you don't have mana, there's no way you can defeat Kulkan. Rather than embarrass yourself in front of everyone, better to die here. Lodron's powerful strike sends Il flying. He's not joking. One more hit like that and I'll really die. Lodron clenches his fist, preparing to launch another heavy punch. He believes Il can manage to use mana. Damn it. Here goes. I can't die. I haven't married a wife in this other world yet. Il also clenches his fist and charges at Lodron. Suddenly, a bright blue mana begins swirling around his hand. Their attacks hit each other simultaneously. The collision of mana against mana creates a massive shockwave on the ground. After this strike, Il is completely exhausted and collapses to the ground. Lodron walks over. Did you notice? You just used mana. Even in this condition, Il doesn't forget to give a thumbs up and flatter him. That's because you taught me well, sir. Lodron grabs his hand. Good. Keep this up and you'll definitely have a chance to win. Lodron then begins healing Il's wounds. But just as he injects his magic into the other's body, Il suddenly widens his eyes because at this moment, his body is experiencing intense pain. Damn it. Il spits blood while struggling. He can barely breathe normally now. This is bad. I forgot you're human. Lodron's eyes widen in fear. Dark magic is like deadly poison to humans. He immediately apologizes repeatedly while picking up Il. In this situation, only the Saintess can save him. The powers in this world counter each other. Dark magic counters magic. Magic counters holy power, and holy power in turn counters dark magic. Magic belongs to humans. Dark magic belongs to demons. Holy power belongs to those who revere the divine. Among these, the most famous is the Holy Gatlin Empire, where they can even hear the voice of the gods. And within the empire, they select the most exceptional person to become the Saintess. At the Demon Army's 3rd Legion headquarters, a human woman is confined in a deep chamber. Her silver hair falls all the way to her waist, snow-white skin and silver eyes matching her hair. Her delicate features are stunning enough to take one's breath away just by looking. But for some reason, her eyes are like dead fish, completely devoid of any life. Her name is Abelson Mariette, the next Saintess of the Gatlin Holy Empire. After being kidnapped by Lodron not long ago, she has been imprisoned in this place ever since. She hasn't even prayed to God in many days. The condition for becoming a Saintess is being able to hear God's voice. Although she can hear God's voice, she hasn't sought God here. She knows that no matter what, it would all be futile. Just as Abelson is lost in thought, the door to the room suddenly opens. It's the Red Nightmare Lodron. His breathing is heavy, clearly having rushed here urgently. Abelson sees his anxious expression and feels confused, because the decisive and ruthless Red Nightmare, Lodron, usually shows no emotional fluctuations. What's happening? Please save this human! Lodron shouts urgently. Il has already fallen into unconsciousness. He feels like his head is about to split open. Il slowly recalls the final moment. He remembers being hit by Lodron and falling to the ground. Damn it, am I really dying while holding a man's hand? Il feels unwilling. No matter what, he should at least die holding a woman's hand. Even Rachel would do. As he thinks this, Il suddenly feels a warm power. He carefully opens his eyes and sees a goddess before him. She has silver hair and silver eyes. The goddess is expressionless, not speaking. I must be dead already, and back at that place preparing to be reborn. Il is convinced of this idea. Goddess, I'll never forgive you, and send Rachel to hell. She's a demon wearing a goddess mask. Finally, if you plan to make me a hero again, you'll have to marry me first. The saintess listens and shows a hint of sadness on her face. How pitiful. Did you die forever alone in both lifetimes? Before Il can savor the saintess's sweet voice, Lodron suddenly bursts in. You're finally awake! He embraces Il with tears in his eyes, the tremendous pressure seemingly about to crush Il's body. At this rate, I'm going to die again. Lodron quickly releases Il. After being stunned for a few seconds, Il holds his breath and looks around. The goddess is still there. Could she not be a goddess but a real person? Oh no, what did I just say to her? Has he fully recovered? Lodron asks the saintess urgently. Abelson shakes her head. That's not certain yet. As you noticed, the dark magic hasn't completely left his body. I don't know what the outcome will be. Lodron is stunned for a few seconds. Even your holy power can't eliminate it? This might be temporary. Over time, the dark magic may disappear naturally. So let's observe the situation. Abelson speaks calmly. I'm sorry. I'll find a way to make it up to you with training. Lodron tightly embraces Il. No, sir. You don't need to treat a subordinate like me this way. Before Il finishes speaking, Lodron carries him out of the room. The saintess left behind looks puzzled. That demon is actually training a human? Who is he exactly? Leaving the saintess's room, Il declines training on the grounds of needing to feed Popo. Thanks for getting me out of that, Popo. I heard you already ate a soldier who came to feed you, so you shouldn't need to eat again today, right? Although Il doesn't have to worry about being killed by Lodron in training now, dark magic still remains in his body. This shouldn't be a major problem, right? It won't kill me. Il says this while looking at Rachel. He sees her sitting on the ground crying with tears in her eyes, because she heard everything Il said to Abelson clearly from the side. She never expected her hero would want her to go to hell. Yes, this is all my fault. The dark magic in your body, and you almost dying, it's all because of me. Because I'm a goddess wearing a demon mask, I deserve to suffer eternally in hell. Il suddenly realizes that what he said might have been a bit too much. He walks over to comfort Rachel. All right, Rachel, don't be mad anymore. I can't do without you, my buff dispenser. Shut up, I don't want to hear you talk. Time quickly moves to the next day. Il arrives at Lodron's private training ground as usual and gets beaten half to death. And the Saintess Abelson naturally becomes Il's dedicated healer. Thank you for healing me. Before tomorrow's duel, I want to ask you something. Il scratches his head sheepishly. Could you pray that I won't die tomorrow? Also, if possible, I'd like to invite you to watch tomorrow's duel. In the blink of an eye, the day of the duel arrives. Due to the intense training, Il's body aches all over, but his mood is calm. In other words, he has become stronger, but those present don't have high hopes for him, because humans have a natural physical disadvantage compared to demons. Lodron, who do you think will win? Hermes asks from the audience seats. Il. He has extraordinary talent and has undergone rigorous training, Lodron says without hesitation. Then do you want to make a bet? If you win, I'll let you continue training him. Hermes doesn't think highly of Il. If you lose, I want you to kill him with your own hands. You said you have faith in him, so you must take responsibility for your words. Understood. Lodron can only agree, and this agreement makes him nervous. He doesn't want Il to die. I can win. Il lowers his head, because under Lodron's training, he has mastered a brand new skill, Lodron Combat Technique. It's a dynamic martial art composed of 10 different boxing styles, modified from the code and fighting style inherited by Lodron's clan. It pursues overwhelming power to subdue opponents. Although his proficiency is a bit low, Il's body strength has also improved considerably through training. I must win, because a silver-haired Saintess is watching. Just as Il is lost in thought, his opponent, the beastman Kulkan, makes his entrance. The demonic aura on him has surged dramatically in a short time. Clearly this aura is essentially the same as Hermes's. At this moment, Lodron sees the demonic aura on him and nervously stands up. You can't back out, understand? Hermes says with a smile. Soon, this duel officially begins. Black mist-like substances continuously overflow from Kulkan's body. With a roar, his voice filled with magic echoes across the land. At this moment, his battle power has reached a terrifying 10,573. What's going on? Such an increase in just a few days? Il is completely stunned. What he doesn't know is that this is actually Hermes' doing. I won't back down. Il clenches his fist. Then he quickly charges at Kulkan. But just as he reaches his opponent, Kulkan swings his massive iron club, smashing forward with terrifying momentum, creating a huge crack in the ground. Il twists his body to dodge this attack, then launches an attack on Kulkan from another direction. His fist slams heavily into his face, but this strike certainly isn't enough to be fatal, so Il launches another attack with his other hand. But what he doesn't expect is that despite taking such a fierce attack, Kulkan doesn't even take a single step back. He swings his iron club in a counterattack, nearly hitting Il's left arm. After dodging the attack, Il looks up at Kulkan. Apart from a tiny bit of blood, he doesn't seem to have sustained any serious damage. Before Il can hesitate further, Kulkan charges forward at extreme speed, but these movements are predictable in Il's eyes. After receiving Lodron's training, he can easily see through his opponent's moves. Don't panic. Il recalls what he learned. The art of combat is the fusion of fighting techniques and mana. This can greatly increase the lethality of your attacks. Combat isn't just about raw power. More importantly, it's about having the fighting skills to kill your opponent.